Former New Britain elementary school teacher is in police custody this morning.
Yeah, this is an unsettling story. He was actually arrested after an investigation into inappropriate behavior.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Cassidy Williams is live with what we're learning about this arrest. Good morning, Cassidy.
Good morning. Earlier this morning, I spoke with a New Britain police officer who confirmed that Irving Rivera is in their custody at the police department. Rivera was formerly a special education teacher here at Lincoln Elementary School. Parents were sent a letter about his arrest yesterday. Here is what we know. The letter says that on February 8th, Lincoln school officials were notified of potential inappropriate behavior. The school says Rivera was immediately removed from the school and placed on leave while police and the Department of Children and Families investigated. Then on March 22nd, Rivera resigned. On April 5th, the letter was sent to parents about his arrest, and that letter from the superintendent goes on to read in part, "Our hiring process is already compliant with all mandated background check requirements, but we will work to find ways to exceed what is required by law to ensure that the district hires staff that represents our strongly held morals and beliefs." Now, the letter does not make it clear what exactly he was arrested for. These charges are so new, Rivera does not yet show up in online court records. The New Britain Police Department says more information should be available once the record division opens up. Live in New Britain, Cassidy Williams, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right.